Welcome back to Simple Physique. So, you've been eating healthy, huh? But maybe you haven't seen the weight loss that you thought you would. Or maybe your weight loss has plateaued. Or maybe you're just trying to get leaner than you ever have before. You're making all the right choices when you go out to eat or cooking at home, but you just don't have much to show for it. I've gone through this myself, and I know it can be incredibly frustrating. So why is this happening? And what can you do about it? Let's define what we call healthy eating, because it can mean so many things to so many people. It's fairly common knowledge that foods that are fried, processed, high in sugar, or trans fats are unhealthy when overconsumed. These foods can create major adverse health problems like heart disease, obesity, and diabetes. And if your goal is simply to avoid those issues, then you're well on your way by avoiding those foods I just mentioned. But if your goal is sustained fat loss or to get that beach body you've always wanted, it's going to take a closer look at your nutrition. It's going to take a little more than just eating healthy, which means we need to understand how weight loss works. I don't care what anyone else tells you or tries to sell you on, the fundamentals of losing body fat is calories in versus calories out. It's really just a simple numbers game. You have to be burning more calories than you are consuming. Your total daily energy expenditure has to be higher than your total daily energy intake. Food is our energy source. The body breaks it down and uses it to supply us with energy we exert to live, breathe, think, and move. If we take in more energy than we are using, our body will store the excess as body fat. It's that simple. This is why even though you might be eating healthy, you might not be shedding body fat like you had hoped. So let's say you've cut out all the bad food and replaced it with the good stuff. Things like olive oil, coconut oil, nuts, nut butters, avocado, fruit, fatty fish like salmon. These are all great choices and should definitely be part of a healthy nutrition plan. But these foods are also very calorie dense, so it's very easy to overdo it if you aren't aware of how much you're eating. Olive oil, for instance, has 120 calories per tablespoon. And if you cook with oil regularly or use it as part of your salad dressings frequently, you might realize that you're adding a ton of extra calories to your meals and not even realizing it. Other culprits are nuts and nut butters, which have close to 200 calories per 2 tablespoon serving. If you're slathering peanut butter on your sandwiches or constantly snacking on nuts throughout the day, you're also likely adding a ton of extra calories. Even when we're making these healthy choices, it's easy to add an extra 500 to 1,000 calories from these calorie-dense, healthy foods. And even though they are, in fact, healthy, if you're not in a calorie deficit regularly throughout the week, you will not see consistent fat loss. This is why I'm such a big advocate for calorie counting and tracking macros as a periodic tool in order to achieve fat loss goals. It's the most accurate way to see consistent results. Emphasis on the periodic part. It doesn't have to be this constant lifelong task. Just use it while you're trying to shed body fat. Once you achieve your fat loss goals, maintaining your weight becomes so much easier. Even just familiarizing yourself with how many calories you burn daily and the calorie content of the food you eat will be a step in the right direction. If you do want to step in this direction, you will need to find your total daily energy expenditure, also known as your TDEE or caloric maintenance level, and eat at a calorie deficit below that number. An easy way to find your caloric maintenance level is to use this chart right here, and I'll also put a link in the description to a calculator you can use. I recommend that you start eating at a 250 to 500 calorie deficit below that caloric maintenance level. This will give you a healthy rate of fat loss and will keep you from feeling too lethargic and hungry all the time. At this rate, plan on losing about 1 pound of pure body fat a week. If this seems slow to you, then you've been misguided by empty promises from the fitness industry that tell you things like you can achieve 10 pounds of fat loss in 2 weeks. No, that doesn't work like that. If you try one of these miracle fat loss diets, you might lose that weight on the scale at first, but it will be mostly water weight, and when your progress slows down, it will leave you feeling frustrated and likely deter you from continuing. You may have already experienced this in the past. It's called the dieter's dilemma for a reason. You have to give fat loss a chance to work. It took time to put the weight on, am I right? It's going to take time to burn it off. And by following the simple protocol that I just shared with you, you will be well on your way. Stay committed and you will see the results. All right, I really hope this video sets you well on your way to achieving your fat loss goals. Please comment with any questions or topics you might be struggling with. I want to hear from you. This is about your fitness journey. Thanks for liking, sharing, and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.